last year, for the most recent year that we have data available, the Biden administration deported 140,000 immigrants from the United States. So even if Trump was somehow magically able to snap his finger and increase ICE's capacity to deport people 10 times, right? That's only 1.4 million. It would still take him about 10 years to deport everybody.
Welcome to the Debrief, where we talk to the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering this week and where the story's going next. I'm Jim Antle, and I'm joined today by commentary editor Conn Carroll. Conn, you've written about President Trump's or incoming President Trump's plan to have mass deportations, and this has become a very discussed first or second term policy priority of the Trump administration. You've written that you're cautiously optimistic about it. Talk a little bit about why that's the case.
Sure. When I say I'm cautiously optimistic, let me first say that I don't believe in any universe that he's going to be able to deport all illegal immigrants in the country.
Right.
Estimates vary. Some people put it at 11 million, other people 14 million. It's somewhere in between there. But just to kind of give you a perspective on this, last year, for the most recent year that we have data available, the Biden administration deported 140,000 immigrants from the United States. So even if Trump was somehow magically able to snap his finger and increase ICE's capacity to deport people 10 times, right? That's only 1.4 million. It would still take him about 10 years to deport everybody. So that's not going to happen.
Right.
What I do think is going to happen is basically what Tom Homan said he's going to do. He said he has 3 priorities when it comes to his job. Number 1 is going to be securing the border, shutting down the border. That's a good first one. Stop digging. Second, he's going to focus deportations on criminal aliens, right? So these are aliens that are in the country, but they've committed to other crimes. So for example, when Laken Riley's killer, right? When he was arrested for driving without a license and endangering a minor in New York City, that would be his top priority. It is those legal immigrants that are going to most likely be deported first. And then third, his priority was finding 300,000 missing children that Biden released into the country, into the custody of who knows, and the HHS has lost track of them. So he's going to find those children migrants. So I think that's a very reasonable plan, and
Sure.
I think they're going to put in the resources and take the time to execute that plan. And so if we're able to get deportations from 140,000, even up to 300,000. I think Trump would be able to declare victory.
So is there a sense in which even just the change in administration itself sends a message to would-be border crossers? I mean, there were clearly some policy changes that the Biden administration did, but there was also just the overall message that President Biden sent that they were kind of laying out the welcome mat a little bit. And
Yeah.
Trump, if anything, sends the opposite message,
Yeah, I mean, not only did Biden send the message that you're welcome, but he actually used taxpayer money to set up offices throughout Central and South America, helping people to come. Okay, so we have a traditional legislative created refugee process where the United Nations vets them, we take them in, it's all set and capped by Congress through appropriation bills. Right. That's all fine. But Biden has then expanded these parole programs, his Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua parole program, and then his CB1 app parole program at the border. And what these programs do is they essentially allow inadmissible aliens, that's the technical legal term,
Right.
into the United States on no legal basis whatsoever. And so not only is Biden administrating these programs, but he set up a bunch of offices throughout Central and South America advising immigrants that want to come here on how to use these illegal programs. And Trump, of course, can shut all that down on day one.
There's been a lot of pushback that it will cost a lot of money to increase deportations, and there's a fun little post going around on social media about how now Americans are going to have to learn how to mow their own lawns and do their own home repairs if this happens. And
clean their own house.
Clean their own house. And, what do you think? Clearly there's going to be a lot of high-profile media coverage that will be critical of any uptick in deportations. The Trump administration is going to have to deal with that.
Right. So, I mean, I think when you look at the economic effects, right, and I think there will be some economic effects, but I think you can look to places where this has, well, not this, but something like it has happened before. So if you go back to 2022, Florida, Ron DeSantis passed a very strict E-Verify bill, which requires companies to, employers, to get social security numbers from their employees that they then check. So after that bill passed, you had this slew of reporting from the New York Times, from National Public Radio, saying, oh no, all of a sudden everything in Florida is going to be so expensive, the farmers are going to run out of business, et cetera, et cetera. The same kind of headlines you're seeing today with the mass deportation. Except we're now 2 years in to Florida passing that law. And guess what? The Florida economy is fine. Not only is the Florida economy fine, there are still thousands, 100,000 people moving from other states to Florida because the economy is so great.
Yeah, there's a lot of migration within the United States to Florida.
To Florida, of legal people that can work.
Thank you, Conn.
Absolutely.
You can read Conn and the rest of our commentary team's coverage at washingtonexaminer.com.